Welcome back, everyone, to Showbiz India. And today it is my pleasure to welcome the very gorgeous Nina Davuluri for the first time to Showbiz India. It's great to see you here in Manhattan.
Thanks for having me.
And you look great. You're here emceeing for NetIP's annual gala. How are you feeling right now?
I'm so excited. In addition to earlier this afternoon, I was giving a talk about my program and platform, which is celebrating diversity through cultural competency. So I had a wonderful discussion earlier. And tonight I'm also not only representing NetIP, but also Girl Rising. So it's really culminated in a great day. Although I've only been here for a day, I feel like there's been a lot of great conversations happening.
So tell me your involvement with Girl Rising for those of them who don't know anything about it.
Yeah. So Girl Rising was actually a documentary that was released about 3 years ago, and it followed 9 young girls in developing countries and their barriers to education. And so this has really turned into a global campaign since the awareness that the documentary has garnered. Now that we've also partnered with the First Lady's office with Let Girls Learn initiative, also the same initiative that she's starting as well, and now specifically launched a India chapter. There was a story about a young girl from India, and I think we've partnered with I know we've partnered with the Prime Minister's office and their initiatives as well. So this campaign has really turned into something absolutely incredible. Just launched the India chapter on August 29th on Star. So the documentary is in Hindi now, with amazing Bollywood stars also really championing this cause together. And tonight, the founder, one of the co-founders, Tom Yellen, will be here as well, sharing his story.
You've changed the history for many girls, and you know, when you were the first Indian to ever win the Miss America title, and of course there was a lot of different reactions to that. First of all, I want to take you to that moment, if I may. I know everyone asks you that. How does it feel?
It's been a while since I've thought about that moment specifically. So thank you for taking me back memory lane, I suppose. I was crowned September 15th, 2013, and there's just some days you never forget. And I think it's always been so surreal to even think that it actually happened. I feel like it was such an out-of-body experience. But I think the reason why I really competed was to change the idea of who Miss America was. And I grew up feeling like I could never be in this role because I didn't fit the stereotype. I wasn't blonde hair, I didn't have blue eyes, I certainly didn't have what people would call a normal talent. And for me, although it culminated in that hysterical moment that is documented forever, it was really about reaching out to that young girl who I knew was watching Miss America the night I won. And for her to say, this year, Miss America actually looks like me. And that's what really mattered.
So you've done many firsts, and it was the first time a Bollywood dance was done as talent for Miss America. What prompted you to do that?
I can't tell you how many people said to me, Nina, if you're really serious about winning Miss New York or even winning Miss America, change your talent because Bollywood will never win. And I competed twice for the title of Miss New York, and the first year I did a Bollywood dance, and the second year I was competing, it was my last year of eligibility. You have to be between the ages of 18 and 24, and so it was my last year. I just turned 24. I knew it was, all or nothing, and I remember saying to myself that if I was going to win Miss America, it had to be in my terms and in my way. And I grew up a classically trained Bharatanatyam Kuchipudi dancer. Bollywood was such a huge part of my life and who I was, and I wasn't really willing to compromise that, because I absolutely believe that you don't have to choose to be either Indian or American. You can have the best of both worlds, and I'm proud to be Indian as well as American.
How did you feel when all this negativity started coming up?
Unfortunately, it was something I was prepared for, and it was something that I experienced when I won the title of Miss New York, on a much smaller level, of course, and I was the first Indian Miss New York as well. And I remember, I was called a terrorist, I was called un-American, and Miss 7-Eleven, the list goes on. And I remember sitting with my mom and sister and thinking, gosh, why is this happening? My platform is first and foremost diversity. I was born in Syracuse, New York. I'm a U.S. citizen, and And for me, these were educated people who were saying just ignorant remarks, and it was absolutely intolerable. And I think hindsight really is 20/20, because if that hadn't happened when I won Miss New York, I don't think I would have been as prepared as I was when I won Miss America. And I have to say, even when I won, yes, there was negativity, but there was so much more positive response, and really people just so much support and love, I would have to say, from young people really speaking out against this and saying, you know what, it's not okay, and that's just really ignorant.
Absolutely. Now, on the glamorous side, tell me what it feels like to be Miss America that year. I mean, I know it was a wonderful journey, but if you could just encapsulate that journey.
There certainly is a glamour aspect to this job, but what people don't realize is that it's a very small percentage. It is one of the most unglamorous lifestyles possible, I think, because you are literally living out of suitcases in hotel rooms. The night I won, I was asked to repack all of my belongings, literally all of them, into 2 suitcases, and I hit the road traveling the very next morning. And so for me, I'd been on the road, I've still been on the road, continued to travel for almost 2.5 years now, and you are just out of suitcases, airplanes, hotel rooms. And oftentimes it's a very lonely job, it's a very lonely lifestyle. And so yes, there's been certain moments where you get to be on red carpets and do wonderful events and charities and galas, but I think what the most important thing is the message behind those charities and galas and the events that you're doing. And so it's a lot of hard work, but it's for a good cause, and that's what I've used my voice for, is to be a speaker and advocate.
That's great. And also, you're a very smart young lady.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
It's always nice to hear.
Absolutely. We have to dispel the myth that beauty queens don't have brains. She's right here dispelling it.
Thank you so much for saying that. And I think I appreciate it so much more because we both have that common connection. So to connect with women and really be a role model for young women, I do a lot of advocacy with STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math. And for young girls to see someone like Miss America saying, you know what, science is cool and being smart is cool, and that's absolutely the key to success.
Absolutely, and of course pageants are very special to me too. What would you suggest and what would you say to young girls out there, young people out there, not just girls, who want to do things out of the box?
To be yourself. And I know how cliche that sounds, and it's so much easier said than done. But so many people across the way will tell you how you should act or think or do. But ultimately, you have to do what's best for you and stay true to who you are. So I always say, know who you are, love who you are, and stand up for who you are.
And now what's next for you coming in the future?
Yeah, so like I said, I'm still continuing the speaker advocacy role. I'm on the road about 2.5, 3 weeks out of the month. So still continuing to travel, but also I will be applying for my MBA this year and pursuing that starting next fall. So we'll see where the cards fall. I'm very excited to continue kind of the advocacy side, but also certainly see myself on the policy side as well.
Great. And what about Bollywood? Now, many successful beauty queens have become Bollywood stars. Would you ever consider that?
I don't think so. For me, I've really loved using my voice in the way that I have. And although I respect Bollywood, it's been wonderful to actually use kind of the celebrity status, I suppose, that I've had, especially working with Girl Rising alongside Frida Pinto, Priyanka Chopra, amazing women as well who are really using their voice for positive change. So it's been incredible to do that work without having to necessarily, I'm not necessarily an actress, so I don't ever consider myself that, but it's been great working with them.
Well, how about some fun and love? Do you have a Mr. America in your life?
I do not have a Mr. America, so we'll see what happens. I'm still looking for him.
A lot of guys just absolutely were delighted to hear that last answer. It was so nice speaking with you. We wish you so much success. You look beautiful, as always.
Thanks for having me.